reason why I brought a mystery plant that we're going to go over first, and I brought two of my friends here that I've rescued from bad situations, but there's a reason why I brought them as well. So we're going to talk about both of them and a relationship that they actually have. But I first wanted to introduce myself. So I'm Aaron Capoli, and I'm the owner of PA Woods and Forests. It's a brand. I'd like to do a lot of research with frogs and toads and a lot of different environments that they live in. So this is a serious interest that I have. Right now I'm on track to go for a master's degree. I'm going to be studying frogs and toads. These frogs specifically will be one of them that I focus on. And I'll explain what they are in a minute, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of information about myself so you understand who I am, why I'm this weird guy up here talking about frogs today. PA Woods and Forests, I record with my YouTube channel, and I like to show people what's going on in mostly western Pennsylvania. So I focus on a lot of the wildlife, a lot of the interesting things, but it's probably creepy crawlies and critters to you guys, which is why we call it a critter talk, because I know there's a lot of people that probably don't think positively about frogs. Hopefully we can change your mind after this presentation, but I like to go out at night. So as you can see, I've got a light on my camera. I have a camera that is light sensitive, and I've got all kinds of stuff in my bag to monitor them because we're working with nocturnal animals. So they come out usually at night, and that's whenever they're breeding, whenever they're feeding, and when you can observe them. So it's a really exciting time if you want to research frogs and toads, but you have to be willing to stay up the late hours of the night to do it. So let me explain why I have these guys here. So these two were rescued. One of them, a friend of mine, rescued from a swimming pool. There was somebody that he knew, their family was getting ready to bleach the pool, so he would have died. The other one we got from a road rescue. So these both were not captured in Cambria County. They are native species, so you have to have a fishing license to own them. So I do have that. But anyway, these are eastern gray tree frogs, and I have a little storyline about them on the YouTube channel, and I write about them. And there's a lot of people that follow their story, a lot of people that are interested in them, because these two, and there's two females, these are both males. I have two females at the house that they live with, and they represent a whole for the eastern gray tree frog species. So when I talk about them, and I speak about them on YouTube and on Facebook and blogs and stuff like that, I'm using them to represent the entire species, so that way people that keep these frogs can learn more about them. But also, because they came from a bad situation, and I've had them for years now, there's no way they can go back to the wild. So they have to remain with me in captivity. Don't worry, I usually give my animals at least 100 gallons or more, so I give them big setups, probably as big, as long as this table, in some cases longer. A couple of the different tanks that I have. I don't hoard animals, I promise. I only have 3 tanks that I'm working on building. One will be for these guys, and this mystery plant will also be living there with them. This is Bane, the eastern gray tree frog, and he is also very unique because his color, I can take the other one out in a moment, but his color is so unique compared to other eastern gray tree frogs. He's very dark, and we're not sure why that is. I haven't come across anybody in the science field that could explain it. I'm hoping to find someday why he's so dark, but he seems to be one of a kind because we haven't seen anything like him out in the woods, how dark he is. So this was a frog, not him, but the eastern gray tree frog was recently discovered in Cambria and Somerset counties by yours truly. So I was able to spend a couple years to take a look and see where these frogs were. Nobody had ever documented them in Cambria or Somerset. There's no specimens found in the Carnegie Museum. There's nothing found. Now, this frog, the eastern gray tree frog, is not in any jeopardy, but it's also not listed as a common species in the state, which means it's not found in every county. The work that I'm trying to do with this species, it could be someday. That's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to help find it. The eastern gray tree frog, if I let him go, he's probably looking for a bush right now. These guys can climb up 80 feet. They can climb up the tallest trees. That's where we find them a lot of times when they're not breeding. So eastern gray tree frogs are tree frogs, and they hide up in trees, but they'll come down to the ground to breed and sometimes to look for food. Now you can see his camouflage. If he was on a tree trunk, you might never see him. But Bane here is a great representative of the species because eastern gray tree frogs are usually very calm. I couldn't do this with a bullfrog or with a frog you'd find around water because they're very flighty, very jumpy, very nervous animals. There's no way I'd be able to hold it. So I figured Bane and the eastern gray tree frogs here would make a great volunteer to explain to you guys about these animals. So the eastern gray tree frog is very uncommon in our area. A lot of people didn't know if it could live in the mountains in our range because it's cold and because of all kinds of other factors with the coal mines, the strip mining, acid mine drainage, garbage. I think he's going to jump on me, so don't be surprised if you see him lunge at me. He's giving me the look like I'm a tree.
What is it?
This is an eastern gray tree frog.
Oh.
So, and they are native, and we did find them in Somerset County just this last July. So just recently. Well, he's behaving good. But anyway, yeah, so the work that we're trying to do to save this species is we're trying to create little artificial poles for them to breed, maybe get some trail cams up so we can see them. How's it going, PA Woods and Forest community? I hope you like the new playlist. It's called Critter Talks with yours truly, Aaron. Please like and subscribe and share this for more content. We'll see you in the next one.